motion to approve the minutes.
Josh first, second. Carl second, all in favor? Aye. 4-0. Bailey.
Okay. Alright, so I have a lot kind of printed out here, but we don't have to go through all the details of it, just kind of a summary of everything. Programs that have like concluded, we have golf, so you can see there the total number of signups, the revenue brought in through registrations, and the total expenses, and that was covered by a line of credit through the city council. So that wasn't part of like our budget. So there's that, and then if you flip to like the last 3 pages, that shows the actual final summary of baseball and softball. I forgot the last meeting, baseball and softball and expenses, it did not include the all-star tournament items, so like registration, entry fees, the jerseys that they all got. So now that includes everything. So you can see the final numbers there on baseball and softball. And then the other third report I have there is the adult league. So as of right now, it's been spring pickleball and summer pickleball. So between those two, we've had 39 people register or participate in it. You can see the total revenue brought in, and then the expenses, which the expenses for that are just prizes for the winners. So that's what that is looking like. That does come out of our budget and like the supplies, miscellaneous additional event line. So there's that. Any questions on that stuff?
Seems like the All-Star, if I heard good things, like kids were, parents and stuff were happy. Didn't they do that?
Yeah, I think they really enjoyed it.
They end up winning the tournament, right?
Well, so the 11U team played in another tournament after that.
Like the week, the next week.
But we didn't, we had a couple teams do well in the rec all-star state, but none of them won.
On the paper, it said the 12U team.
The 11U team played in a 12U tournament the weekend after the rec all-star state that we put them in. And they did win that tournament.
That was just something they did on their own.
Oh, they did that, okay.
Yeah, we didn't like.
That was a USSSA summer finale. It was an additional tournament that they.
Yeah, the school that they won.
And that's something to think about going forward, because that's an additional tournament that they went ahead and paid for.
Yeah.
Obviously, we cover everything for the rec all-star state, but they went ahead and paid for it. I know some of these teams I talked to some of the teams this past weekend because the softball team just played on Saturday and Sunday, and they're not the ones. Some of the other baseball teams said that they would be interested in playing in more tournaments in the future, so, which I can't disagree with. So.
They just have to figure out how to fund it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not, I don't know if it's free. It's
Right.
How much
you
do
can
we
see
want?
like the all-star tournament, how much each costs between
But if I remember right,
registration and
somewhere around $325 for baseball. It changes for the age group too, though.
Is this something where we might look for sponsors next year to help fund some of that?
it would help, I think.
Looks like you're a little over $2,000 for the baseball.
Yeah, and actually I just realized, because I've not seen the invoice for it, the softball all-star shirts are.
And that was for 4 teams, just to be clear, that was 4.
Yeah.
Total softball only had 2 teams that were sent, so.
Should be about half.
Well, no, it'll be more than that, because on the softball side, there's, you gotta pay team insurance for both teams and the tournament is a little bit more.
I did have one question.
Yeah.
So we made $77.35 for softball.
Well, technically no, because like I just realized I don't have the all-star jerseys on that expense sheet, which would probably be about half of whatever the baseball one was. $300 or $400 probably between there, so we would be in the negatives technically.
And then, but it doesn't look like we paid Junior Wiltshire or the softball supervisor.
We did not spend the supervisor,
So we really lost money close to $3,500 for softball.
Probably close. I just don't know what the all-star shirts cost on the softball side. That's the only expense that's missing.
I mean, it's better than 87 that we lost last year.
Well, in those, I mean, there's a big difference adding in that all-star tournament.
Yeah, you would have,
A couple
that's what I'm
thousand
saying,
extra.
you would have made money had you not done the all-stars.
Yeah, the all-star stuff is definitely extra, and we did like pay more for the shirts for it to have like more color on it, for it to be a nicer material and stuff like that, so it was just an added expense.
That's what I'm saying, so if you, but you had how many sign up, how many people sign up, you had 234 and
Over 349 for baseball.
I mean, if you upped everybody's $10, you covered the all-star fee for next year.
Yeah, I mean, if we were gonna, I would like to start smaller if we're gonna bump up numbers, maybe like 5. I just know that we'll receive, complaints about upping it, but there would be a real reason why.
Right, it's not like we're trying to profit money, we're just trying to cover our
Cover
expenses.
the expenses, yeah. Unless we can somehow get like special sponsorships or something specifically for like all-star teams.
We have a year or 6-7 months to figure it out,
Yeah.
just an idea.
So the $3,000 that how much did we pay Gabe?
3,000.
So where did the other $3,000 go? The budget for 6.
It's not been spent.
It's in the budget, it's just remaining.
It's just $3,000
So is there a reason why we don't pay the $3,000 to somebody who runs the softball?
He was paid his hourly rate for being
He's paying
there.
hourly
He was
rate,
paid
or
his
is-
hourly rate for being there.
So he didn't get paid comp time.
Yeah, he's got comp time.
So he's got comp time.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So he's hourly, he's not salary.
He's not salary, he's hourly.
Okay.
So yeah, there's some summaries on that. So for upcoming programs, we have kickball starting next week. I did put just like a little snippet there of like the registrations, the revenue. You can see that there's still a balance due for several people. So that's the one like con of not charging people when they register and then adding it on after the fact, which we did that so that we wouldn't have to refund people in case we didn't have enough to run it. But I think we'll always see a discrepancy there if we continue to do that for other programs.
I think once it gets going, you'll be able to do like baseball, softball, you're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah.
You're gonna know you're gonna have.
Yeah, so that's why there's still like a balance due for that. We can see the potential full amount that we can get from it.
Are you like reaching out to those people to check on the balance?
I've not called anybody. When I added the balance to everyone's account, I sent an email, and last week I sent another email to those who have not yet paid it. But I've not called anybody yet.
That would probably be my next step.
Yeah. So there's that. And then coming up, we have fall soccer. The registrations are open till August 9th, but our numbers are pretty low or lower than last year. So we may have to extend the signups, but we don't have a lot of time to extend it because like by the time the game starts September 8th, like we gotta get the t-shirt order in. So we don't have like a ton of extra days to extend that. Like I can't extend it out a couple weeks, like that would be too long in order to get like shirts in on time. The registrations are slowly going up each day, and I've emailed it to past participants probably 4 separate times. I sent it to Amy April to distribute out to schools. I emailed Joy Orman and Tracy Eater to get it advertise on the radio and the newspaper.
What day is it now?
It is Sunday, right? Or no, yeah, it's on Sunday.
So can we extend it till that following Friday?
Well, so I booked the library for the draft on Saturday the 15th. So for me to prep for that, I would need it to, I mean, if I
Can you
extended
send
it,
it Wednesday?
I could definitely extend it to Wednesday, or I could maybe look at bumping the draft. I need to double check with, Premier. to
Any
see when
idea,
they can make sure.
any idea how many were down from last year?
Quite a few, I would say. I mean, you guys are looking at the numbers in front of you, I'll list out the numbers from last year. 10U, we had 45, 12U, we had 37. 4U, we had 42, so that number is above that already. 6U, we had 49, and 8U, we had 63.
We have 19. We're at 63.
8U has been our highest, like, participated age group ever since I started, so I'm not sure why that one is like so much lower. That's always usually been the highest one.
When's the meeting start?
September 8th, the day after Labor Day.
Like,
Okay,
but Stephen, you know, yeah, but they're not taking that many kids. I mean, we have 12 kids on those teams.
I was gonna say it's either like people going that route, Wisconsin United, or maybe some boys picking football over soccer.
Oh,
'Cause that's at the
they
same
did
time.
start.
But their games
They've been
are on-
running football for a few years, haven't they?
Their game's on
Their
Sunday.
games are on Saturdays, but I don't know when they practice. So,
But there may be some that are opting for the fall baseball versus
maybe.
football soccer too, you know, at the same time.
They don't, the only thing that would overlap would be like baseball practices while soccer games are ending. But,
How many kids we got signed up for baseball?
that is the next one down, we have 163,
That's
which,
pretty good.
those signups are going better this year than they did last year when it ran in August. Like as of right now, we can run T-ball, C-League, and B-League baseball,
How many on each, how many teams per?
4 to 5, looking at those numbers. And for T-ball, softball, I will ask, you know, if that number doesn't reach, 40 or so, then I will call and ask if they want to combine with baseball, which that's what we did last year. I think everybody did that, because it's just T-ball. Softball, obviously, none of them are at where they need to be, but we still have a month, so registrations are open until September 1st. So you can see, that these fall ball registrations is another one where they did not have to pay when they registered, because last year when we had them pay, we had to give so many refunds because there weren't enough kids, so that's what we were trying to avoid this year. So this will be another league where I have to go back and apply the fee to everybody's accounts, so we may still see that discrepancy in payment, when that comes along. The only one I did go ahead and start, I went ahead and put the fee in for whoever registers like online now is T-ball baseball, since we definitely have enough. I'll also need to do that for C-League and B-League. One concern I have for the fall baseball league, baseball side of it, not so much softball, is like the leftover of what we have in the baseball program, that 3,600, a little bit more. That's supposed to cover uniforms, awards, and like any equipment we need, so like obviously baseballs, things like that, and that it's just not gonna be enough. So that's one thing. And the 2,800 for umpires, I'm not really sure, that'll depend on how many older like C, B, A league teams we have. So just, we'll have to move around money and probably figure out those budget lines.
So between youth baseball program, fast pitch, youth baseball umpires,
Which there is quite a bit left in youth softball umpires, if I
Looks like we have about 14, almost 15,000 to cover. Cause I'm assuming between,
You can transfer.
you can code things to different line items in that budget, so,
Yeah, so we will have to move around money to cover.
or code things to the correct code, just watch your fund,
Right.
or move it, it doesn't matter.
I think from a registration standpoint, one thing I would suggest is get on your Facebook page, I saw you made a post earlier today, on registrations, get on there and schedule that thing and just go out every day. And just at a certain time, the registration post that you made, like 4 hours
The fall
ago.
registrations.
Yeah, take that and just go in there and schedule that same post, just to go on repeat daily until those registrations are done. Just so it's always in people's faces until they get sick of it.
Yeah.
The more you put it out there, because with social media algorithms, depending on how many interactions and things that you have with it, some people may not even see that.
Right, yeah.
So just the more that you put it out there, the more chances there are for people to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, we've also talked about like boosting our Facebook posts.
It's a cheap investment.
I was gonna say, I don't know how much it is, but
You can set a budget for $1 a day or $6 a day.
Yeah, it doesn't count, I mean, it's the price for however many days you want it to be.
The impact.
Like an ad, it's just gonna show up like an ad.
Yeah. And if you wanna help with that, holler at me, I'll come by and show you.
Okay.
All that.
yeah, I've thought about that, just having a return when I get it, so. So that's where we're at. I do have a couple of, well, actually, it's technically only one background check. This person, wants to coach baseball. However, when I pulled up the background check, he had 2 misdemeanor offenses related to drugs and alcohol in the last 7 years, so I have those here. I wrote just on the front what the final judgment was, so like what he was charged with. As you can see, he listed that number 2 coach as his assistant. However, that person has not even signed up their kids yet, so I'm not even sure, like, that is actually gonna happen.
Did you end up having any conversation after our conversation last? Where did you leave that with him?
Keep trying, it's gonna keep going through the process.
Get the timelines, then we can reevaluate. Right with this one. Yeah.
I mean, for this number 1 coach, these aren't terrible offenses, but they do technically
It falls within our policy.
fall within our policy.
You know, we decline people, so we need to be consistent. I feel like.
I think so too, probably. What were the years on those?
20 or 21,
Or 21?
I think, correct?
Yep.
Couple more years in there. They're out of the woods.
It's unfortunate because we need coaches, but at the same time,
There's a policy for a reason.
yeah. Because if it passes, then it passes. You know, stands.
Can't do for one, not do for the other.
Because like, well, in 2027, the 2020 will fall off, right? So then we'll be able to coach in the spring.
Yeah.
I'll just say, okay, this is our policy. Yep. As long as you don't get in trouble again, the 2020 will fall off in the spring. You'll be able to coach in the spring. In the same way with number 2, stay out of trouble, once your stuff meets the deadline, you're more than welcome to coach. Yep.
Alright, next page, we have disc golf league, registrations open. We've only got 2 registered so far. I don't know if you guys remember from last year, but that league was pretty minimal. If it's minimal again this year, I don't know if it's something worth, like, to keep offering, I don't know.
Before you go on.
Yeah.
According to our policy, we would need a motion and, like, on that background check, to either pass or
On both
fail.
Even though it's.
Just on the one.
Even though it fails, the policy would still need a,
Well, it was brought to you,
Okay.
so.
I'll make a
I would say,
motion.
since you had a conversation, then we would have.
I'll make a motion that number one doesn't meet the policy and should not coach.
I'll second.
All in favor? Or,
So anyways, yeah, back to disc golf. I'm gonna offer it again, see how it goes, and we'll kind of go from there. Fall pickleball league just opened up with registration, so we've got 2 registered so far.
On the pickleball, I know we talked about last year in the fall, that they were gonna run some tournaments, is that still?
So that's the next thing on my list. I have been trying to organize one tournament, for August 22nd through the 23rd. So you can see out there, it was the Gherkin Classic. We've been advertising it for a few months now. And the registrations are not looking too good for it. And the pickleball tournament director I've been working with, just today suggested that we either cancel it now and kind of cut our losses with it, because we are out a little bit of money by canceling it, or moving it to a weekend in October. I just don't love the idea of rescheduling it, because, I mean, if we don't have the signups again and then have to cancel it, I just don't love how that looks. And I'd almost prefer to just let the sport grow in our community more and hope for a better turnout in a year or 2, rather than trying to bump it out and hoping for the best, basically.
So you would still have this with the 17 players or cancel it?
We would cancel it if we don't get more. I mean, the deadline to register is August 16th.
What is the threshold that the tournament director would like to see?
That's a good question. I mean, in our conversation today, let me read it. He said, right now I could run one event between the 17 players. If you're not concerned about the low numbers, then keep it going and we'll be a quick tournament with a handful of teams. But it doesn't appear that the North Vernon public is reacting to the tournament, since there's not very many from North Vernon signed up. There's a few, but not a lot.
I thought Columbus and Seymour tournament were posting huge numbers.
They are 300-400 participants. One thing he did tell me is that a lot of players don't like to play in August because of the heat. But originally when I did reach out to him, I had given him a September date that he agreed to, but then went back on and said I needed to change it because he had a conflict. So that's why I went with an August date. So that kind of messed things up from the beginning. And he also mentioned just that everyone and everything are hosting pickleball tournaments now, and that's a little oversaturated, and he sees a lot of player fatigue with it. I don't know how relevant that is, not sure, but that was kind of his opinion on it. And if we do cancel it, we would have to refund the people who have registered, which would be $1,000, basically. It'd probably end up being a little bit more if we keep registrations open and a few more trickle in. So I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know if I did too much too soon with pickleball and trying to go from 2 leagues last year to 3 leagues this year and a tournament. That's too much too soon. I don't know. But I just kind of wanted to get your guys' opinions on it. We have already spent about $1,600 on it because I went ahead and got the additional nets that we needed to fill all of the courts on the tennis courts, and then the tournament website fee, which that was only $25.
So my thing is last year we talked about when we were fixing all this up for the pickleball courts and putting all this money in it, that everybody around here was gung ho about, we're gonna run these tournaments, we're gonna do this, that, and whatever, and it looks like to me that none of them was in favor of it.
So that's how I think this is organized originally from our pickleball community here locally. They wanted to see a tournament hosted. And I'd be curious, I haven't looked at who signed up for anything like that, and we don't have to say who to sign up, but I'm just saying, I'd be
The
curious to
locals
see
you're talking
how
about
many of
though?
them,
Yeah,
you know, are,
see, and that's what gets me is, you know, why are we spending all this money to do all this and make this better, and we don't hardly have anybody in our community support?
But I think at this point, if you can host with 17 and not just throw $1,600 away, you host.
But you also
And
like,
you host it well, and those 17 players talk about how much.
great it was.
so this is like anything new, right? Like
Right.
the first year, like that you never know what you're gonna get, and the plan is to grow it, and it's kind of, in my opinion, if you decide to do something, you do it, you can't just.
Their tournaments are all, it's all self-regulated and everything else, right? You're not
Yeah.
having line judges or.
oh, no,
So-
it's not like a sanctioned,
So
like,
the thing is,
law.
I think you continue with 17 players. If the director is turned off by that, we can facilitate it. I mean, I don't think that that's an issue for 17 players, but just try to run it as well as you can but
I just know
if
tournaments are
they-
ran very differently than like your typical like leagues and stuff. That's why I had someone come on and help me with it. But the other part of that 17 players is like, when I look at them, they've all signed up for different skill levels, so some of them might not agree to combine if they're playing with people who are not as good as them. This is from my experience with pickleball in general, the last 2 years.
Like, do you have a few in all the different levels?
divisions.
It's like sporadic. They're all like different. Mixed doubles 3.0, women's doubles 3.0, 50 plus, that's like the age. Men's doubles 3.0, 50 plus, men's doubles 4.0, 50 plus, like it's by like age and skill
That's the
level. And there's a big difference between 3.0 and 4.0, I would. So, I don't know, like if you combine everyone together, I don't know who all, and I think that's something I can talk to the director about, who all would be willing to do that with 20 players.
How much does it cost per person?
It's a $55 registration fee, and then $5 per event to register, plus an additional $5 per event that the website takes.
Through the Pickleball Brackets website, do you have a database to communicate with the players that are registered? Can you build like an email?
I assume so. I'm not familiar enough with the website to know that right this second.
That's something I would talk to either work with the website or work with the director and maybe send out some correspondence to the players to get them engaged and say, listen, if you don't bring your friends and get this signed up, you know, we're gonna have to combine or we're gonna have to move, shake, do whatever. And kind of put that back on them a little bit to help promote it as well. And either they're gonna play or they're not.
Yeah.
But if they choose not to play, what's the refund? They get mad and choose not to play because we combined.
The refund would be whatever they paid, so like,
Is there a refund policy if they just choose not to play?
oh, if they just choose not to?
Yeah.
I would say that.
I
Yeah.
don't, I have to
That's
look
what I'm
back
saying.
at how I worded stuff.
Because this cost us money to
Yeah,
organize, so if they choose not to play because they're upset because we had to combine or anything like that, then
yeah,
I mean, if we register for a race and show up, nobody's in both class to race, I don't think it'd be like, I'm going home and get my money back.
no.
yeah. I think there is some sort of refund policy written, I just have to double check what it says.
I think we ran into that last year with baseball, didn't we? People want their money back.
Well,
they
because we
couldn't
didn't
play or
run the
something.
league,
Well,
we didn't
That's
run.
different, that's what I'm saying, I think
We
we're
didn't have
running,
that
and if
much
they
fun.
choose not to play,
Right.
Yeah, if they're upset because they aren't classified, it's
Set up there.
yeah, if we choose to cancel, then you have to do it, I mean, you can't do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
We're not running, we can keep your money.
no. But I think you try to run it because like Bobby said, it's new. You know, try to run it and try to run it the best that we can.
And I think you reach out to our local pickleball people who have pushed for this and be like, look,
I have sent it to them and talked to them several times.
if they're not interested in playing.
A lot of them, well, not a lot, but a handful of them say the fee is too high, but according to Dean, and this is what he does, he organizes tournaments all around our area that are prices typical.
I can tell you from running cornhole, I mean, it was pretty commonplace in the pricing of the entry fees and everything else, and you got people going from all over, and your locals, and nobody really ever complained because it was the same as what they get right in Columbus, or they drive to Louisville or Indianapolis for.
Yeah, and I mean, I have, last year when I was like researching all of it, like everywhere in the surrounding areas is similar. It's either, like ours is $55 to enter, $5 per event. Some are $45 to enter, $10 per event. They all kind of vary a little bit, but they're all like structured the same.
I think we do our best, try to push those people to send them, put some correspondence, push on your pickleball people.
And I reached out to a league tournament organizer from Seymour. He sent it out to like Seymour, Brownstown, Columbus, Greensburg.
Who was the young gentleman?
Searched groups on Facebook and tried to put them in groups.
Wasn't there a young guy coming here wanting to run tournaments or help run tournaments last year or the year before?
I don't know about the year before, but I don't remember.
Am I crazy?
I was at the park office looking at him. I remember he never had one of these for the park office.
Alright, so we'll just try to let that in. I do wanna note that like that 1,600 is not the final expense. Like we will provide, it's difficult to provide like water and snacks for the players. I would also have to pay the tournament director $10 for registering as well.
That's $170.
So is that why he suggested cancel, because it's $170 process?
Maybe he's saying it's not worth his time, maybe, but. I mean, he said it's totally up to me with what I wanna do, and I told him
Should be incentive in him to pushing people to.
Is he from here?
he has ties to here, I forget what they are though.
He's not, he doesn't live here.
No. I think it was in Columbus. I think he is originally from. So yeah, that's where we're at with that, so, okay, I'll try to keep pushing for that and do my best to get people registered. Last thing I have is just hometown harvest. So, just a little update on that. I provided a timeline of kind of what I'm thinking things are going to be. It's a 12 to 8 event. I'm still looking for a 1 p.m. performance of some kind, don't know yet. I added on market vendors, that's new from the last time I updated you all, on, I think tomorrow. A market vendor application is gonna go out on Facebook. I wanna see like what kind of businesses would be interested, and then we choose who gets to set up, because we only have enough space for 8 market vendors. The kid zone, that's what all is happening right now in the kid zone. We have Carter's Critters doing the petting zoo and pony rides, a pumpkin bounce house and slide, a pumpkin painting contest, a caricature artist, and then sugar strands. And then I have one open space in the kids zone area that I would like to fill. I have more to come on that. Food trucks, you can see I have a few confirmed. I did take off Junker Barbecue. It didn't seem like he was interested, so who was your barbecue guy?
Old man.
It's called Old Man.
Old Man Barbecue.
Do you have contact?
I'll get you his contact info.
So I'm trying to fill those 6 food truck spots. Beer garden, I talked to Miller's a couple weeks ago, and didn't love what he presented for them to set up. So we will, and Bobby and I are gonna have a follow-up conversation with them on that and see what we can work out. Cause I would rather someone come in and just do it all than us having to like figure out bartenders, volunteers.
Reach out to, have a drink on me. Let's see, what's the name of it? It's like a trailer they pull in and do it.
I'm trying my best to use local businesses.
Yeah.
Cause that's the point of
That's
the,
steep.
it's a little steep. And he did say he would work with us on it, cause he asked what the goal of the event was, if it was a fundraiser, and I was like, no, this event will not make any money.
This one.
It is just for like our community
Have a
and
drink
to
on me, beverage.
spotlight our sponsors.
Where from?
The guy who owned it's from here, they live in Terre Haute.
Have a drink on us.
On me, beverage LLC. Ask Main Street how, the Cole Miller situation went.
I have.
There's always Nash's too, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
Does the city pull the liquor license?
If someone comes in and does it, I don't think we have to do anything. Other than waive the, like, law of like no drinking at parks, or whatever.
Do we have to cover insurance?
That didn't happen.
They would
So
have
he has to cover
They
it.
would be a vendor.
Yeah,
We have to have, they have the liquor liability, but we cover the special event insurance. Right.
yeah.
We just don't carry the liquor liability if we don't, which is a substantial slide of that. Even though it's one day.
So, the mayor did suggest like maybe if we did it ourselves, we can use the golf bartenders, whoever works at the golf course. I mean, obviously we'd still have to purchase the alcohol and stuff and get the permits and,
The nice
Well,
thing
that-
with that, the beverage will a lot of times work with you and bring you like their trailer full and you only pay for what you use.
yeah,
That's why.
yeah, he's mentioned that before.
So it's not like you go out and purchase a bunch of stuff. You can work with them on front of beverage. Cake trailers. Or, I would just,
I'm just saying that.
their cake trailers, but the have a drink on me. There's LLC there, they do a lot of events, they may already do both for that weekend, but.
So we'll look into that.
It would just
and
give you
see.
something to compare that with.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I was a little disappointed in that, but we'll figure something out. Okay, last page, I don't really need to talk to you guys about the core items. But in the kids zone, I kind of listed the costs and everything of what some of those things will be. For the hay rides, I did contact Bingham's to see if they wanted to do it, but they did not want to take on the liability of it. And our city insurance does not want to either. They would prefer someone to come in and take that on. I think I'm gonna table that for this year, see how the turnout is, and if it's something we can add on to following years, I think that would be fine. So, and then in the last, since we're not doing like the hay rides, ideas to fill this certain area of the kids zone. Same company that I'm getting the bounce house from has like these trackless train rides. Obviously, that's more so just kids, but it would cost about $1,200 to rent that. Potentially like setting up like a mobile pumpkin patch, just because it's basically like a big square of like open grass area. So we could like line up pumpkins like a pumpkin patch, have people pick out their own pumpkins for free. Fire pits and s'more station, I don't know how that would go on top of the grass.
It's little stoves and little, concrete paper, I think you'd be fine.
Yeah, we would definitely need like something underneath of it, right? Cause I've done that in my own backyard with like an elevator on it, it's still hang up the grass.
So,
Yeah,
I think, I like the pumpkin patch idea.
yeah, me too.
downtown, they've done downtown before, at one, I always forget the name of their fall thing, what their fall dinner thing that they have.
The
Main
fall
Street.
harvest thing, or what do they call that?
I can't remember the name, but it's like a dinner through downtown, they set it up. But it's also much like smaller, condensed area.
Probably lots of kids.
And the good thing about pumpkins is like we would get those donated, so it wouldn't cost us anything to have that.
It just might be kind of cool.
Yeah. We could like decorate it up, like some hay bales, some
You can talk to-
scarecrows.
talk to Boyd's and see if they would decorate some of those pumpkins that you decorated.
I haven't reached out to Boyd's. Main Street does that for their fall event, and I didn't want to be repetitive. So, or like, feel like we were stealing an idea from them, since that's something that they do.
You could have like a photo spot set up.
Yeah, in the front, which I have talked to Kingdoms and Amy Boswell about, I wanna set up a big, like, old antique tractor with like hay bales and mums and, like hometown harvest sign, like right at the entrance of Tripton. Like a photo op area. And they both said they'd get. That's my updates.
Alright, park items. I've been sitting on the 3 resumes.
Yeah, so I narrowed it down, I've completed interviews, I do have one that came in after I was done, that we can talk about another time or after, but, those are kind of the 3. And I kind of just want to share with you just where I was at with it, because I like all of them. So, you know, if after the meeting you want to give your opinion, or if you want to get it out loud, that's fine too. But I think all 3 of them bring something that will be beneficial to us. I think all 3 of them could do a good job. So I'll let you guys look at those and have your thoughts and share them as you wish.
I just had a question, we've lost 2, in the last 6 months probably?
Yeah.
Is there a reason that we've lost?
So, Scarlett took a position with Schneck, making about $10 more an hour with benefits and still similar hours. Haley just took the position at high school as an athletics administrative assistant.
Seems like,
Obviously, full-time with benefits.
yeah, seems like they're moving to job full-time with it. I mean, Schneck, full-time is 24 hours, so you get full benefits.
They're just gonna have more pay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
Better
they're,
opportunities.
So money and benefits be the answer?
Yeah, but is it necessary?
But I know, but what's the
It's
stuff,
not
I mean,
like,
is it gonna be a rotating door from now on?
well, that's why I'm going through this interview process. I'm trying to find someone that's not gonna be the case.
Yeah, it's,
Oh,
you
I
gotta
mean,
find
if
a
you-
special person for that, you know, who likes
So, yeah,
part-time with limited pay, I guess. You wanna look at it that way?
So did we hire wrong the last 2 times then? Like, did we hire not the wrong person, but, you know?
I mean, I guess if you look at it that way, like if you think wrong, just the fact that they didn't stay for
Yeah.
10 years, then yeah, for sure.
Like, I'm not saying that Scarlett or the other lady was the wrong person, but obviously, you know, we didn't hire her.
Both were great in their roles, I just think better opportunities came up for them.
But that's probably gonna happen on all
It's
days.
just always gonna happen
We're
like
gonna
that,
have
in
it
a
this year
position
too.
like that.
So it's set up, so even the one that I want to share with you guys is, it's a great person, a great opportunity for her to build her resume for probably what she's gonna do next. So that's, again, going through the interview process. I would prefer to find someone that's in a situation that would be more steady, obviously. I don't want to do this over and over. So there's no doubt about that, but yeah. I mean, to answer your question, I think that we're looking for someone to be more
What's their
stable.
hourly rate?
15 or 16 is what is the salary ordinance.
Have you, I think you're gonna know where I'm going with this one. Have you done background checks? Do you know what I'm referencing?
Obviously not.
I'll cover it.
Do you think if we bump the pay, cause this comes out of part-time seasonal help, is that where the budget line is going? And it looks like we've got money. I mean, if you look at the budget we're in August, so you're through a majority of the year, and you've got 50 grand left. Know what I mean? Is that, do we need to reallocate that money? Do we need to add more people in the summers and expect more? Like expect Junior or whoever, expect our park to look better? Or do we bump some of their pay? I mean, it looks like you have money to have options to do things in that line, I guess is where I'm going. So if we need to bump the pay, some people don't need benefits, so if you can bump their pay and they work 3 days a week and they're happy with that, do you keep somebody longer? I mean, 15 or 16 bucks an hour is not much money, anything. I mean, when you go to the grocery store and the fuel pump, it doesn't get you. So I think before we make a decision, we have serious thought about, okay, do we need to do a pay bump? Or we're getting ready to take on the quarry. Can this person take on some of that responsibility, knowing that this year it's gonna be part-time, but the quarry goes live in 2 months, supposedly, 3 months, end of the year? That's going to need people. Can this person fill 2 roles where we can offer another line in the budget for another full-time person? Being like, out of turn, crazy?
I think we originally talked about that in the first place, that you're gonna have to have another person, because there's no way, and I'm not taking nothing against Bailey, but Bailey can't do all that work, from there to there. So if you bump this pay up like they're saying, then that way at least you know that person's willing to stay, versus us getting these people coming and they're leaving every 6 months because they got another opportunity to go somewhere else.
Well, especially if we're asking them to do that.
Right.
Is there an order? Sorry, like an order, was there an order that you sent them down in, or just?
No, I told her I liked them all.
Okay.
I think they're all.
Has there been any discussion with the mayor about positions for court? Are we?
Yeah, so we had this discussion when we had the full-time position this past year, that
That's the
the
only thing.
likelihood of me coming and asking for another full-time position is very high.
Okay.
But that is not in consideration of the secretary position, to be honest.
But what is that full-time person gonna do with the court?
Well, I mean, there's gonna be 2 rounds that are gonna have to be made every single day. There's gonna be people checking, when people check in and check out, it's gonna be a full-time, it's gonna be a position all weekend long. I mean, that's the majority of the time people are gonna be there. So those are the days that they'll be there. Obviously, there's a lot of details still to work out down there, but there will be a presence down there every single day.
Agreed. But I guess I assumed a lot of that would maybe be managed by somebody, but I guess I assumed that would be a lot of part-time.
And it can be.
So we're gonna have to up that budget for next year.
Yeah, that's what when you guys were finished, I was gonna just caution something else and expect that part-time and seasonal will still be the bucket they can all come out of, but yeah.
Well, like, you can't have a park and not have maintenance.
Right, I'm gonna be buying a property that's gonna
Yeah.
only continue. to
I
have
mean,
more things
if
going on.
that's the mindset of leadership, we shouldn't have built a park.
So, well, right, the discussion already happened, there will be another position that I would likely be coming to.
Well, there has to be, but there's also, there's another stream of revenue to justify that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that person from the park office could manage all the registrations, all of that. And then your part-times could do your drive-through, fill your, but.
Just
reallocate some of those responsibilities and.
So Bobby, knowing that we got $50,000, like Alex said, in the budget now, we're gonna be losing about 3 or 4 people that are coming up. Are we gonna need to get some more people to take care of September and October?
We'll still have one more person than we had last year to do the same time. Because Dalton's not going, Dalton will pick up.
Right,
2
yeah.
extra days.
Yeah, you're gonna have Dalton come in.
And so we'll have, I mean, we'll have 4,
That's fine with those.
we'll have, technically, we'll still have 6 people working regularly during that time.
Just not like 20, 24, 25 hours a week.
No, I mean, the ones that are working those hours will stay working those hours.
Right.
And then you'll have 2 that are basically working full-time hours, and you obviously have the 2 that take care of their own tricky.
What's your goal, is
That's about 16 hours a week.
How much does Dalton pay?
50, 30. I have to go back and look now. It's the same as the starting maintenance. I believe it's 15, but 13 is what he was making through work 1.
13.
Is what he was making through work 1. I believe he's making 15.
So he's still making 13?
No, I believe he's making 15 because our maintenance, that position and salary ordinance is 15.
That makes sense.
So, back to the secretary, how many hours a week is that? Is it 40?
For what?
The secretary.
No, it's typically been 20 to 25 hours a week.
All year long?
No.
There were some weeks that were more just certain time of the year, but obviously winter time it's not close, or wasn't.
I mean, but I would assume even with the quarry part, you're not gonna do much.
There's just with nothing indoor going on with that, it's, there's, I mean,
So
we
basically-
tracked it, there were some weeks where the funnel maybe ran 5 times all week.
In the winter.
So basically, in December and January, that person will be working, correct?
Pretty much.
Well, January is when they come back in.
Yeah.
So
It'd
middle
be more like
January does,
November,
so
December.
because registration's open and that sort of thing. So it does start picking up.
But it slows down at the end of October. Pretty much.
I guess my thought is just before you hire somebody and do the same thing again, maybe we,
Figure out some sort of solution.
We don't want to sit here in December or January talking about the same job.
That's kind of an awkward hiring time too, though, because it's already August, so they're gonna have a couple months under their belt and then like
see you
slow
later.
way down. So,
Can you survive the rest of the year without filling the position?
The answer is probably.
I just think.
I mean, the answer is yes, but like,
Yeah,
that's
right, right.
not,
Did the candidates that you've talked to, did they understand?
yeah.
Okay.
That they're gonna work for a couple
There
months.
were, yeah, there were a few, I mean, there were also a few that interviewed that I could talk to them, and that was not. So I narrowed it down for you to look at the 3 that I like the most.
Okay.
That I think fit, obviously, hopefully, more.
So realistically, you have to get through fall kickball, final kickball registration, fall baseball, softball registration, final summer bills.
I was gonna say, the last like revenue we'll receive will be fall, baseball and softball. And then after that, it would just, their main role would be like bill tracking. Right?
Not necessarily, but yeah.
I mean, what else?
You know, somebody just scheduling things and phones, they just,
Well,
I mean,
your everyday
shelter
stuff.
house stuff, yeah, I mean, but that's, it ranges a lot, people walking in, talk, see, the first person to see.
So basically, we need that person for basically 2.5 months now till the end of November, end of October.
I think we need them for as long as they'll work for us, is what I'm hearing from them. We're looking for someone that's going to be part of our Parks Department, not someone that's just going to work until, for 2 months and be done, and go find something else.
I think as long as they understand that that workload decreases, and they're fine with that.
And those are the conversations we
Yeah.
had, and so they understand.
So, are you asking to hire one of these three? Because you said there's
No, I'm
a fourth
simply
one.
sharing the 3 that I like the most from the interviews.
But what about the fourth
So-
one? Like,
Do what?
the fourth one?
Yeah, so that's the one I mentioned that, like, this is definitely a situation, like I said, I can share more details, or I can hand it to you now, and you'll see it, you'll understand why it's probably not the right fit. But
For long term.
Yeah, if this is
it
temporary.
just came in after I was finished doing
Yeah,
it.
if it's temporary for that person, I think you go with these, like I said, I don't wanna be sitting here another 6 months trying to hire someone else. If you think one of these three will work.
Alright, moving on to budget items.
I placed that, you got the email that had all, you also have the printout of what I sent in email, just in case it wasn't easily brought up. We're obviously we've had a preliminary budget meeting that we just talked about, kind of like when we need to have, basically a rough draft of what we're gonna propose, finished. I wanted to share all the budget items, so that has that printout, and the email has all the budget items. And I kind of color coded it, blue is the line item, green is the starting balance, yellow is the current balance, so that you guys can follow through that and look through it, just thinking about the 2027 budget, with things that stand out. Obviously, this also doesn't include line items that might have to be added. Obviously, there are going to be RV type things added as well. So I want to get the conversation started so that you have those. So that's just more for your review and talking point of making those budget items that you think potentially stand out. I obviously have a few. I'm not sure if you have scrolled or saw enough, but like ground improvement, where we were talking about doing some fall projects and stuff, is now down at just over $9,000. So there's very, very little left there. Now, I will say, last year where we used ground improvement to help with our building maintenance and supplies, we have the building maintenance and supplies, and now it's kind of the other way around, where we could maybe use building maintenance and supplies as a buffer for us. So those are kind of where I want to point out, because I know there's still a couple things that we wanted to get done this fall. So those are the kind of the 2 items that I specifically highlight, just based on the projects and things that, again, we've discussed that we're still wanting to get done for this year.
What is 1101-011-4401 GNPK equipment, beginning balance of 20,000?
That's cool, I believe that's the pool equipment.
I thought there was another pool equipment line.
There are 2 equipment.
Pool
lines. One's
repair.
park equipment.
Pool wages, pool repairs. There's one that, okay,
There's 2 different equipment line items, so one's park equipment and one's pool equipment. Pool equipment is the line item that started at 20.
that's pool equipment, and we've only spent 2,100.
Well, it's either in your claim or maybe in your next claims. We had the vacuums repaired, that it's probably another, it's 700 probably, between both vacuums being repaired. we put that also in this year's budget to order a couple more of those that are $4,000 plus 1,500 shipping each, so.
I'm just looking today, not including what we just approved, you spent a little over 550,000. With a remaining of 308,000 in your budget. And we're what? 80% of the way through your big expense? Do you agree with that? Is your big expenses including baseball and softball and, I mean, those are expensive, your pool, you spent a bunch of, 75. I mean, 70 to 80%, somewhere in there through your expensive period. I mean, or,
I would say if you go back and look at last year, that there was a lot of money spent in October and November.
I guess I just wanna make sure we're spending our budget.
Well, I think a lot of that, those expenditures in October and November last year.
Doing that.
Probably that to get ready for the next year, certain things, so.
Okay, I just wanna, I mean, that's, you got a little over 50% left of what you've already spent. And we're most of the way. And before you know it, it's gonna be November.
Yeah, so, I know we'll have 2 more pay periods, and I'm just thinking of things that will come to an end soon, but 2 more pay periods and, like all pool related items between pool wages. Oh, we don't have anything come out of concession, because we've already made our last concession order, other than if there's things that we have to just top off to keep it in there. You'll have pool repairs to our at least some pool repairs still have to happen. We'll obviously spend the rest of that chemical budget for the fall sale, because we get it on sale in the fall ordering. So we have it to start up next year. So you'll see the rest of that spent. We will need additional appropriations in park and pool electric. And obviously you'll have all regular park wages still coming out of those.
And you'll have some expenses with baseball, softball in the fall, with soccer in the fall.
Right. Where a lot of those items that look like right now, they have money in them, they used to have, there are still claims and things gonna go against them for a bit, even though they seem like they're over now. Or pretty much over.
I just want, like I said, I just want to make sure we're talking about some of these projects, like the lightning detection system and the gates and all that stuff, that we want to get done. Just want to make sure it hits this budget year and we, if we have money left.
Well, and we'll have a little bit that we'll have to spend on the new program as well, because it is a little bit over what the full 275 was. And then obviously we have expenses that go against that for moving that, which we already paid, but moving that light pole, whatever comes from just the base work. I'm sure there'll be some there. There's still items coming. I know it seems like
There's a lot of money left, that's what it seems.
to be spent.
Can you come up with can you come up with a list of projects that we've approved that haven't been completed, projects that we've talked about throughout the year that we need to revisit as we come up on the end of our budget time? And
So the ones that you guys have approved to pursue are the gates, that drainage work behind Cassetter, also includes the patching and leveling out of that roadway. The lightning Do what?
The electric and.
So they, yeah, reminder, although we haven't gotten, you haven't seen quotes or anything from that, the electrical and the plug bus is gonna get worked on this fall as well.
Right.
But obviously that's one that we don't know what that's gonna cost.
Yeah. So when, are we gonna try to get those done prior to the
Yes.
fall league starting back up?
Oh, no, we'll do that electrical work after everything.
No, I'm not talking about the electrical, I'm talking about the other,
The gates
like
and.
the gates and all that.
Well,
and
that's, we're preferably, probably not the drainage.
You can't get to it now.
You probably can. Yeah, I mean, what's it, $9,300 and some dollars left in grounds improvement? And so between that, obviously, we're still gonna, I mean, we'll still have building maintenance and supplies that guys are putting with their,
Regular.
all the stuff that goes for cleaning the bathrooms and restocking bathrooms and the stuff they use on a day-to-day basis comes out there. Like I said, I wouldn't use it as a buffer, but it's not gonna have enough to do everything. That lighting protection was, I think you guys saw the quote, 17,000.
Yeah.
Some,
Did we talk to Tiff about that?
I talked to Jerry Shepherd about it, and he's just willing to be help with, like location of where we put it and that sort of thing. He said if he comes across any sort of grant or any sort of help with funding, he would let me know. That was the last conversation I had with him on the funding.
What was the total cost of the dig?
8,900 was the quote that you approved up to that amount to do, but that was also a company that did not. Has
Follow
not.
through. Did you follow through with the company that Alex suggested?
I followed through, I had a meeting with Kane's fencing. I did call, leave a message with,
Okay.
was it K&K? I can't remember what, I called left a message and I haven't heard back. But Kane's I met him and they're from DuPont. They've been around for 32 years or something, he said. And I've never heard of him, but he said he was having a quote. I just met with him last week. He did say he'd have a quote within a day or two. I haven't gotten one back yet, so.
Follow up with him, he's pretty busy, he actually came and gave me a quote earlier this summer.
Wesley?
Yeah, it's him and his boy who came by my house, I think.
So Wesley is the boy.
Okay,
So
the dad and boy.
he's the one that's the dad, father started the business and it's kind of like slowed down. Wesley runs most of the work.
They came out in like, it's probably March or April, and they told me they couldn't even get to it until like late July, so I know they were behind at that point.
I spoke with him about like the timeline, because I kind of talked about the timeline, we had nothing going on. So he said that he would get me a quote within a day or two.
Did we get a quote on the drainage on that cost?
From Morgan's?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought we did.
yeah, and I don't remember the total, there are actually two different parts of that.
Right.
Or it was actually part of some of the work he already did.
Yeah.
We just held off on the drainage part.
So, the lighting detection, the gates, the drainage, and the electrical upgrade for the quadplex is all gonna happen this fall.
Maybe, if we have the money for it. I'm gonna
Well,
say
we've
yes.
got 45 roughly, and then I'm sure we can find the money out of some, we've got non-reverting money probably if we want. It sounds like the electrical has to be done, like maybe we can make a priority of.
Right.
The electrical.
It will have to be done.
Yeah, I mean, that's a yes no matter what,
Right.
so, so the lightning detection is a yes no matter what, probably, right? I mean, that's a safety issue.
I think it's needed, and just have to shop.
So 2 of the 4 are yes, no matter what.
Right.
And,
I bet you that electrical was not cheap.
yeah. Have we started the process of bidding that yet?
The only person that knows really what's going on with it is ETC, because they were, when when it all went down, and Daniels, who I talked to, and he was there that night, and kind of then chased it down the next day, and found what the break was, and got it going again for that night. So,
So maybe reach out and get a bid for what it's gonna cost.
we'll have to get it.
Or, just reach out to them and just ask them to go give you a run, like rough order of magnitude, so we have some type of idea. I mean, is it 50 grand, is it 150 grand, is it 10 grand? I don't think any of us have any idea. Do you have any?
So, not really, because the conversation talking with people is also like, do we just replace that whole panel or move that whole panel to a place that makes more sense instead of right on the backstop? So there's been talk, obviously, to cut the section of concrete out or repair it, run it, that's one way to do it. But the other way to do it is also to cut the section and have that whole panel kind of move to more of behind the dugout area where it, you can make sure that it's running conduit up to that point and all that sort of stuff. And kind of upgrade the whole panel. I don't know if both conversations happen. And obviously the numbers would be vastly different from one to the other.
But that's something that would shut the park, baseball, softball, down at night, right? If something were to happen again and didn't get fixed, would we not be able to play?
Well, you're not gonna have the lights, you're not gonna have any power inside the quadplex building, you won't have
So
power.
it would shut tournaments down too, possibly.
You won't be able to run a concession stand, you won't have power in the bathrooms, you won't have, obviously, you won't have any power.
We definitely need to prioritize that.
It seems like that should go straight to the top.
Yeah. Where is the cut, where?
Directly under the panel on the back of the hayfield is where they traced it to. And he dug it down all the way to find that it's not conduit, it's turned to first, so they're just guessing inside that wire, there's a break.
So there's no conduit there, it's just a wire in the ground.
There's a conduit that runs about, I don't know, it's probably 2 feet or whatever down, and he dug it down. So once he got to the bottom of that conduit, it is not in conduit. It's not in conduit past that.
Okay.
Once it was to the depth that they trenched, basically.
Get some new water.
So we went right into our old and other business already through that conversation.
Okay, were there other items that you had in the program?
We hit all of the other stuff as we were going through that, because I was gonna bring up the other projects that we talked about, some of the other line items. So that was, I put other there just as a couple other things that are not a big deal, and then I'll also give you guys a chance to look these over.
I think we try to do it quickly on getting a quote on the electrical stuff. If we have to, we go into non-reverting, because if we can't provide the facilities, then we're breaching our contract with our lease for the baseball tournaments. And I think that's a number one priority, and because that non-reverting money has that revenue from that, then we can dip into that for that cost, just to make sure that we don't breach that lease. I don't know what everybody else thinks on that, but.
And I agree, like,
I mean, assuming we have that board there,
Yeah.
make a decision for sure.
I'm assuming it's gonna be over the threshold that you're gonna have to have multiple.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd prioritize that for sure.
If we're gonna have one for that, whether that's city,
City.
us.
Yeah. Yeah, that may be something we go to council for, and maybe something we go to bid for, I don't know. We just need to get quotes and then evaluate and see what options we have. If somebody want to do a cost share with us, but that's pretty important. And because some of that, how that lease funding is diverted different directions, I think there's gonna be some, I think we should ask for some cost share on that as well.
Yeah, makes sense, 100%. Anything else?
That's all I have.
Claims are approved. Everybody signed? I think so.
I think you
Yeah,
brought it.
they're back
Right
there,
there.
somewhere.
Anybody have anything else?
Yeah, I
There's
think
four
you said,
signatures on
I think you sent that email out about triplet, about the mini park.
it. I did.
And I think a few of us just kind of looked over that, and obviously, I think that's a great idea, what you want to do, your vision. But I don't think we have that kind of money really to do that. And so I think some of us have talked that if we could come up with $7,500 somewhere to see what you can use for $7,500 to do what you can spend, and I think we would all be okay with that. If you could get us $7,500 to start somewhere, and then we can move forward going.
It's kind of look at an annual phase.
Yeah.
Of progress.
What was it? I didn't.
I just shared the mini park, to make it a neighborhood park and do what it should really be. The talk of just putting a new basketball goal seems like, not genuine to me. So I sent an email basically saying, like, I feel like if we're gonna do it, it's not a crazy amount of money, it's not a huge space, it's not like we're doing anything huge there. So I sent an email out, talking about to make it an actual, kind of an actual neighborhood park where we would replace it with kind of a, I can't remember what, I know it even says about a peanut pavilion.
I like that idea too.
You have space there where people would travel there for their kids to play basketball, you have space for them to watch. Instead of the old swing set and slide, to have just, even if it's just a centerpiece with a little bit around it of a centerpiece of an actual playground for whatever ages. Just the idea was that we're going to actually make a genuine change there, rather than.
In my opinion, I think your email was great, but you're talking $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 for what you put in that email. A bar, a playground, a pavilion.
Yeah, that's exactly how much it was, but obviously a pavilion is a pretty.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great if we had that money, that'd be great, but we've talked I know you haven't been here the whole time, but we've talked, for 3 years, we've been talking about just starting to do something. So if we can set aside a certain amount of money to start something, like get the ball rolling.
But I like his vision, so
Oh,
let's put a price to his vision, and maybe we do part of it this year, part of it next year. Maybe it's a 5-year plan, or it's a 7-year plan. I'd rather do that and work towards a goal than just be like, all right, let's go spend $7,500 over there. Let's go spend $10,000 over there.
Because we're putting in a new playground now, right, so we got the cost of that, right?
So we do.
So I don't think the playground we do over there is near to that.
No.
But we have some sort of comparison of costs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then, the Millers redid the one, there with the pavilion there, right? So we have some sort of cost on that too, right? I mean, we can go off of, we're not just like shooting arrows in the dark.
Like
We
I
have
say,
some
let's
sort of-
just put a rough plan together and, let's make a goal and let's put a
Once we
A
see
timeline and a
a
goal.
number, then we can say where we can allocate.
Yeah, and then we redid the basketball courts, I mean, I know that was, I think, before Bobby's tenure, right? So we have a cost on the new basketball court, right, at the city park. So we have some costs, so maybe we do put your email into like an actual proposal.
And I can.
And I mean, we did the master plan for a reason. Can we search for some grants? Can we, you know what I mean, there's,
Something we kind of talked about was, are there some sensory equipment?
Yeah, that email would go perfect over there, right? The lady wants to build the, sensory playground.
it's kind of
So
quiet
maybe
over
we-
there.
Maybe we move her over there, not to move her over there, but hey, we wanna put a playground here, maybe your playground fits. We're gonna add a pavilion, we're gonna redo the basketball court,
But let's put a plan together instead of just saying willy-nilly, let's spend 10 grand over there. Let's put a plan together, let's put a vision together, let's set a goal and let's go do it.
I like your email, it's good, I mean, it's a good vision. I think we can accomplish it, it's just not gonna be, it's gotta be in phases.
But I also think we can reach out to our community partners and be like, hey, we want to build a pavilion here, can we do like a community habitat?
Habitat for Humanity
Day,
Day.
kind of like, let's put some volunteers together and build a pavilion. Maybe we go that way with some things.
Yeah, I mean, the reminder there too, as you think about, it is still on a trailhead, the walking trail, all
Yeah.
that, so it's not, it's not a place where you're gonna host a lot of things, but it could be a gathering point for something, small like that, yeah. So,
Yeah.
Do you know how many parking spots are over there, Benjamin?
so at the trailhead, I believe there are 6, but actually at the mini park, there are 0.
I know, technically, there's a little area where you can park, right, over on that one. like-
Yeah, but that sidewalk directly just kind of goes down to the steps that go down to the walking trail. I want to be clear, that does not go off to where the mini park actually is.
Yeah, there's the fence around the water tower that blocks it, right?
Well, it doesn't block it, but like there's the fence around the water tower, and then there's the hydrant with basically bollards around it, and then you're the alleyway. And then there's the fence, the L-shaped fence around the mini park, and then the right is just these people's driveways that live down that little alley. So it's an alley and an alley.
So technically,
People live here, people live here.
So
water
there's
tower.
no room to even put a parking spot.
technically,
Two.
There's like 3 parking
You
spots
could-
by the bench seating area, right?
You could put, that's where I'm at, like at the trailhead. There's no actual seating area. Well, I take it back. There's a small bench opposite the trailhead. So trailhead and that parking lot, water tower, there's a small bench right behind that, the big slide.
you could put some spots off that other alley, if you turn off of,
So that's where I was saying, but you have those white bollards all along there too.
You
Get
have
rid of
to-
those,
you-
and
you
you
have
could
to put-
potentially put parking.
you'd have to put some parking over there.
Right.
For sure.
But I would say, if you live there, also park along.
Yeah, on that whole area, yes.
So.
I think we just come up with a proposal, and then we piecemeal it together and figure out, come up with a timeline and annual budget for it.
Alright, so we'll make a motion to